Guys, welcome to this video. In the last video, able to look at some of the database command. As you can see here, we have to query it and then do some whole lot of things. I try to make all the tutorials really simple the best way I can. So since we have actually created all these models, so we can actually make use of this model. Remember that we're able to create two contents by making use of the database command. So which is we created two content, which is the drink water one, drink two. So the next thing we want to actually do is actually to import this model, because we can actually import this model and make use of this style, because currently what we're using is this kind of dummy information there, which is ID one, content eat food one, content eat food two, and content eat food three. So we don't want to actually be making use of this dummy data. So what we can actually do is actually to import this model that we created. Remember that this model is like a table that we actually created, so we can import it to render it on this of our home.html. Remember all the informations here, tags.id, tags.content, tags.date added are similar to that of the what we created, and they are exactly the same thing that of the task class that we created in this of the module. So in a situation whereby you put something like a tags here for example, remember when you change this, you need to actually migrate that of data your database to actually take this first. So what you can do is actually come here and say that of the content of tags. So in my station, I'm not interested in doing that. Let me just leave it the way it was now. So in the station whereby you find yourself in that station, make sure to change it. So that's what we're going to do is actually import this of our models. So to how to import models this is basically simple. We can just check from our models, which is the models. I want to import. What do I want to import? Which is I want to import our task, which is our the class, which is the like from this model guy, which is this guy. We want to import this of our class. The way this model signify, this dot here signify that they are in the same can say the same folder. So let me just close it. These guys up. They're already making this messy. So for this, so we have actually imported our I can say our table that we actually created. So since I don't want to make use of all these dummy guys that is here, I can actually query this data base that we have with making use of all this command, making use of this command that we use there, which is task.object.all. Let me just copy it. Instead of info, I'm going to put it. So remember that this task object.all is going to get all this kind of query setting information. So each query set information, when we go over to our home.html, we're actually looping through it for all the tags, because the tags is actually the name, I can say the key name we give to this of our dictionary. So we're actually trying to loop through it. So instead of this guy is going to be only two content in our list, which is going to, let me drag this guy up so it will be easier for me to move around in front. So instead of this of our views that we have here, when I do task.object, remember that this is going to get a type of list type of output. Remember, it's going to get a type of list. So when you get that type of list, I'm going to use a for loop inside here to loop through those lists. And when I loop through those lists that this guy provided, and the list is going to be in this format. So yeah, this format. So I'm going to get the ID, the content, the date. Also try to get all that in when we did when we try to learn that of the query set. So when we try to learn that of database command, we mainly focus on that of the content. But in this situation, we're going to go in full to get some of our most important things that we actually need. So in this views.py, we've actually done everything that we need. As of now, we'll just try to pass that of the information, all the information that is going to be getting by this task.object, also we're going to pass inside of this task. So if you are not really understanding what I'm talking about, be sure to check out my previous video. I try to make it the best simplest way I can explain. So that's what we're going to do is actually to run our server and then let it start working. So my server tend to have a little. Why do I have this? Let me close it. Let me close this. So remember that our server is actually 127.00. The site cannot be reached. Okay. Okay, that's because our server is not actually running. So let me just close this. Remember how to run it. It's basically simple. I can go to your command prompt, just come here and type cmd, go to your command prompt, cd into this folder, then type python manage.py. But the best way, I cannot the best way, the simplest way is come to this your manage.py, hit this play button if you're using VS Code. So just wait for it to load up a little bit. When it's done loading, then you can type you're going to print, it's going to display to you some command of Django commands which we are not interested. So we're going to come and say Python manage.py run server. So it's just simple as that. Let me close this manage.py. Okay, why is it wasting time? Okay, so yeah, it's up now. So let me go back to this up. Remember that this 127.0.0.1 is actually signify that this is the port that Django tends to provide for us to make use of. So let me actually refresh this page. You can actually see June quarter 1, June quarter 2, and June 7, 2025, 12, 8 a.m. 12. This is actually the time that this information was actually added. So if I didn't actually set this task subject here, I still left it as our info. Remember that our info is of this guy that we have here, this dummy data that we have here, which we were actually using initially. So this is the, what is this information? Okay, let me run it again. Okay, you can see you have more of data information here, but this is actually dummy data. You can see it food 1, it food 2, it food 3. So when we actually what we don't want to use, we want to make use of the information that is on our database by setting this task object or we can actually come here and run it. What is this information? Okay, what is this? Like you can see why it's hard out to refresh many times. So you can see June quarter 1, June quarter 2. This is in fact the out of the ID. You can see how simple this was actually easy to achieve. So the next what we want to do, since we're no longer make use of this what is this guy, this info guy, so we can get rid of it and just delete it. So our code tend to be looking a little bit better right now. So the next thing we want to actually do is actually move this form because there's no actually any form down here. We need to actually set a form somebody can enter. And remember that what somebody is actually trying to enter is already meaning is already for this of the content. All the information is going to be filled up. So before we move on, we need to actually register our models that we created, which was this model we created, this of the task guide that we created. So we need to actually register it. To register it, basically we're going to go to this of the admin guide. It's going to tell you to register your site, register your model. To do that, we're going to import our model that we actually created. So we're going to say the what models, because the reason why we want to put this does because it lives in the same folder as that of the admin. So we're going to do what we want to import what our task. So you need to actually import your task or your models to actually make use of it, to actually register it. To register it, basically simple. I'm going to say that of the admin site register. Simple as you are going to hit enter, and then we're going to the models inside here. Just simple as this. In case you have more to actually register each of them. Let's say you have a module called tax2 also, so you can come here and see, put this and then put the module name. Make sure you have actually imported before you can do this. So there are many ways to create our form, because the use of form is actually in a station. There you can see here in this of our models.py, our form, what we're actually interested in this, the content guide is going to, and it's actually a test. So we need to actually create a form that we can access to complete this of the particular row before we can actually save it to a database. So to do this, there are basically many ways. Number one way is actually to create we can say the best way to actually create a separate forms. The py can give it any of your choice, and then create it and then try to connect it to this of the task module that we have here. And then another one is also come to this of our views.py that we have here. This views.py, you can write that here also and then make use of it, but the best is actually to create a separate file for this. So we're going to come to this of the task guy. Is going to live inside of this of the task guy, so we're going to call it forms.py just to actually connect it really well. So we're going to say from the part of the Django, so from that of the Django import what do we want to import? We want to import forms, and also from our Django forms, we want to import what? So I want to import a model, going to be model form. We're going to vary from this form and that of the model form. So we need to actually import our models also. So I'm going to say from .models, want to import our task, because the task is the model that we created. So we're going to create a class is all really hard. This is just basically one of the things you need to do. And we're going to give it our class a task form. You can start to give this any name of your choice. Sometimes I just want to give it this task form. So we're going to inherit from that of the forms. Going to be this our form that we imported, or what, our model to be model form, this model form. So the next we are going to do is actually to create a class of meta. It's going to add some other I say properties to this. So we're going to say our class meta, it will be meta, and then we're going to set our model. Let's set our model to be what? That's simple as that. We're going to set our field. What is actually this field? It's going to be field. This field is where the field I want to actually when we the form, like I said, if there are many forms. Let's say in a situation, and this is a situation we only have one field that I want to actually occupy, which is this of the text field. So this is our content. So we're going to specify that it is content that I want to actually remember that this is what we actually want to complete. This is our field, which is held by this of the content. So make sure to copy it. This field is basically, let's say in a situation where when you want to log into a particular site, you see something like enter your email, enter your username, enter some kind of information. This is how you can actually select the one you want the user to actually enter. So here is going to be a type of list, and they are going to select the input. Let's say in a situation you have another one. Let's say is email. You can set here, make sure it matches that of the entry. Let's say here was actually email, so make sure to copy, let it be exactly the same thing, so you have the wrong one. So in a session we're really interested in that of the content. With this, I've actually created the form. This form we're going to input a text on it. When you input a text on it, we are going to connect it to this of the models, which is our task model. And when we are done doing that, what we are going to do is actually to check if the form is valid. If it's valid, we are going to do what we are basically going to save the form to our database. And actually to get it from this of our, because we are going to make use of it on this of our views.py. So we are going to save from our what, from our dot forms that we actually created, which was this guy. What do we want to import? We want to import our what tax form. Tax form was the name we gave this of the form, which is this class name tax form. It inherited from this form, the model form, and class method gave it extra property, and then model connected to this of the task. Instead of us deliberately going to save all, because these guys are going to be auto generated. So this is guy that I want to actually complete. When we complete this guy, the form is going to, can say the model is going to be complete, a particular row is going to be complete, and then we can actually save that of the row to our database. So with this, we can actually we can now deliberately make use of it. We can say our form is now going to tax form. Okay, and these are the task form guy. We can actually move it directly to this of the content, and then we can make use of it in that of the our HTML file. So it's going to be, we are going to put a comma. We can set to give it a name of a child, but I'm going to give key to be form, so I won't get confused as we go on. So it's going to have that of the form, just simple as this. So this will be a, so we can then make use of this. So we're going to pass it to this of the contents parameter. I'm going to make use of this form guy.